Alright, here we go. Hello, folks. I realized that last time we played, we got Dragon's Dirge and I didn't use it, and I need to start farming shouts like crazy, because I want to show off all the different shout effects we got going on. So let's see, shouts. Yeah, we've only got 2 words so far. We have 0 dragon souls. We gotta fix this. Alright, I think we're ready to kick this off here. Alright, so we are in Stone Song Grotto here. Oops, we are on Echoes right now. After the sword that Sledrig sent us to get. So this, I love the entrance to this dungeon. This is one of the first pieces of concept art we had, was this space. And I remember when we worked with the level designer Aries to get this going. Like, we started off with just this concept art, and he just spent a lot of time trying to get as close as possible to it. And it was just kind of a something to set the mood of this dungeon, set it to something a little more unique. Because it's you know, there tends to be a lot of dungeons in Skyrim tend to be one of 3 flavors. Either they're Draugr ruins, they're snow-covered caves, or they're what do you call it? Dwemer, like the Dwemer spaces. It tends to be what most of them feel like. So had to like kind of pick our kit and then try and add some variation to it. All right, so the first thing we come in here, this here, so we had these crystals. We have 2 different kinds of crystals that we introduced with the goal of trying to add some new puzzle elements to try and make our dungeons feel a little more unique and make use of shouting. And the first thing we realized after we sent the dungeon to testers is we had this set up over here. So we started out with, we had this first puzzle, which was to basically shout at all 3 of these crystals, and in a certain order. And the idea was they would see this thing up here, very I don't know, conspicuous, with this little kind of dragon thing here and a crystal right in front of it. They go stand in front of it, and we got feedback from the testers over and over again that they weren't sure how to continue. So we decided to set up this over here, which is like a little demonstration that shouting at a crystal will cause it to activate. And so when you pull this chain, that little face up there yells "Foos," activates this crystal, and we get in this little secret treasure chamber. So that was kind of our hint to folks. I don't know how many people got that, or if it's just totally like people are still missing it or not, but it did definitely seem to help the testers. And we did something unique with Bard's College testing, which we will be doing anytime we do a massive project, is we try and bring in like a new fresh batch of playtesters every couple of weeks, just to make sure that we're getting fresh eyes on everything, to see that if our changes are having the desired effect. Because a lot of times when folks will report stuff to us, if we give them those changes and hand it back to them, they're of course going to be satisfied because that's what they asked for, but it doesn't necessarily help new players. And that's a lot of the goal, is like, how do we get this as intuitive as possible? All right, so then after you've learned that, you just come in here, and you can see they kind of, the crystals kind of light up a little bit to show that they're active, and then that opens up this portal right here. And if you don't enter it right away, it will disappear. And you just gotta go shout again. So the original intention with this was that this portal wouldn't be here, and that once you got in here, you were forced to make your way through the dungeon. And you can tell that by reading this adventurer's journal. All those decades ago, I had thought the old man a fool to have casually invited me into his hideaway, but I see now he had nothing to fear. When I learned of this place's abandonment, I hoped to plunder any valuables that had been left behind, but even though I managed to bypass the entrance safeguards, the portal quickly closed behind me, and giant crystals blocked the doorway leading into the complex. The crystals seemed to easily bar the passage of any would-be intruder. I'm trapped. I shall rest to consider my options. So the idea being he couldn't find his way through, so he died. And that was how we had it implemented for a while, but then we found that some testers were getting to a point where they were coming here and realizing their character was too underpowered and they couldn't handle all the battles, so we were just like, all right, we'll just let people leave, because we don't, you know, it tends to be the case for Skyrim and all Bethesda games. It's very rare that you get locked into a situation where you have no choice but to go forward. It tends to be they always let you get the out. All right, so the next crystal type, so we have a couple different ones here. These were primarily decorative to kind of give the level some flavor. And it's kind of the idea of where this dungeon is telling the history of how Sledrig figured out all the crystal stuff. And some of these you'll find are mineable, which we'll run into in a minute. But this kind right over here has like a spirit trapped in it. And this is kind of the basis for the resonant crystals, is that he's finding some that have some sort of magical spirit trapped within, and then he carves them in a certain way. Now, we needed to show the player that Earth Song could break them. So we started off with, let's drop some rocks on one to show that rock things can break it. Ha, missed. Oops, sorry, Lydia. And this was another thing where we went in with fresh testers every couple of weeks, and we didn't tell them how to get through here. We're just like, let's just let them figure it out. And so we had to just keep adding more hints to it. Now this one, we found that still wasn't enough. Some people were coming in fresh, and like, you know, maybe they didn't notice the rocks, or they didn't put 2 and 2 together, so we ended up having to add some more hints, which I'm trying to remember where the next one shows up. Alright, so I think the next one was here. This was our next little hint. And that's that in order to mine the crystals, you need a stone pickaxe. Again, just kind of keep going back to the rock idea. So we added a new type of pickaxe, the stone pickaxe. And this just uses the art from the same one that you use in Dragonborn to mine the... What is that ice called? There's that special ice you can get there. But basically, we show you that after you mine out this crystal vein... Should happen any second now. It explodes. So again, trying to plow home this point that stone beats crystal. And that seemed to get most people the point through. And I haven't seen a ton of people get stuck, although we did put out several videos walking people through the dungeon, just because it would have been such a bummer to have people get stuck on our first dungeon. Now the idea for these spirits being you can see they're clearly like clones of Sledrig. That came up much later in development. When we first had this dungeon idea, it was just kind of going to be like, maybe these are the spirits that used to be trapped inside of the crystals, and they're just kind of wandering around, and those are our enemies. And then I don't remember how it came about that we decided that they would be Sledrig. I think it was when we'll get to some of the story elements that happen in here later. We kind of hint at something, so I won't spoil it for people who haven't played it yet and are just using my playthrough to see it all unfold. But when we get to a certain reveal moment much later in the story, you'll understand why it made sense for us to set up the Sledrig copies in here. It also, and even if nothing else, you could make sense of it because we give you copies of Phantom. We give you the Phantom form shout in the Sanctuary, and then there's another version of it, like another word for it in here. But anyway, if you break these crystals, with Earth Song, a spirit will come out to fight. Generally, not always. Oh, he got me. Oh god, come on, Lydia, get over here. And then at some point we had set up the factions incorrectly, and we saw these fights happening between the Sledrig phantoms and these resonant echoes, and we left that in there. We're just like, that's actually really cool to occasionally stumble upon them as if they're... So the idea was to make it feel then, and then again, this all came organically as we were developing. It wasn't necessarily pre-planned, but that's kind of how we like to develop. We start out with kind of the word we use a lot is nebulous plan of like, we know it was something like this. So it's like, let's start with something and then we'll see what kind of evolves over time. And then like, well, that was a happy little accident that we ended up liking, because then it's kind of like the Sledrig phantoms are going to work, mining the crystals, and occasionally they'll pop one that has a spirit, and then they have to fight that spirit away. So the optional puzzles had a negative consequence of making people feel lost, and so we ended up building these little lanterns. So if you ever feel lost in one of our dungeons, if you follow the lanterns, you will make it through. And we did that, even though most people wouldn't know that, it was just an easy like support method where we could just tell people who, you know, reported on our forums or on Discord that they were stuck. We could be like, well, just look, you see those little lanterns, just follow them and they'll take you through. This dungeon was really fun the way it got developed, just because we started out with such a like blank canvas. There was a lot of like back and forth. It was very collaborative to build this thing, so I'm really happy with how it came out. There was a lot of back and forth between gameplay design, level design, story needs, Okay, so this puzzle right here, pretty straightforward. Just gotta line these up so you can see all 3 crystals. Technically, you actually don't have to do this because we found out that geometry doesn't actually prevent shouts, which was an interesting thing. But we just pretend that it works. So technically I could just go ahead and do this right here, but the idea with this puzzle was you'd wait till the opening showed the 3rd crystal. And that should open the door on the other side. And one of the rewards for all the optional puzzles is you get a resonant crystal. And of course random extra loot. So I'm hoping I can remember where all the optional puzzles are, so I can show them to you guys. If you want to know for certain, if you go to the Kinggath Creations YouTube, so we have a separate YouTube account which I actually need to update because I don't think it has any of our recent trailers on it. It's just kind of a place to kind of gather all the stuff related to KGC in one spot, and it has walkthroughs on how to get all of the to do all the optional puzzles. I think this is the room where we get the recipe for resonant crystals and find out that we are not skilled enough. I think there was a journal in here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not this room. Oh my god, so many traps. Okay, here we go. Here's so this door is, okay, this door I think we open up with hitting the crystals, so we gotta come back through here. There we go. So now we've got our 3 crystals available. Alright, so now we can do Unrelenting Force. So I think it's left, right, center. We'll test it out. Left, right, and center. And if you run, you can get into this little secret room here and get the next resonant crystal. Now, originally we had that designed where you needed to use a whirlwind sprint as well, which basically meant you had to chant to get in here, but so even with the chanting, some folks were struggling with it, so we ended up toning it down and just make it as long as you start sprinting before you do the 3rd shot, you can make it in there all right. I still think we missed the recipe book, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's deeper in here. We'll find it eventually. All right, here we go. So now we're in the final little chamber. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the little journal with the recipe in it. Okay, so this is actually a little mini boss fight. We added in later because initially it was just another phantom, and it has the thing we're looking for, but it felt kind of underwhelming. So now he charges off of the roof crystals. Thomas Salazar, thank you for subscribe. And then he wrecks you with the magic that he charges up from it. So while he's got that charge, he hits like a tank. Okay, try our luck again here at the old boss fight. And I'll try not to get wrecked immediately. Let's start off with Earth Song. Send this guy to the moon. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I don't see him. Like invisible with the blue tint here. There he is. There he is. Uh-oh, he's charged again. Let's back up. Let him blast. There he goes. Blast the dog with it. No, he's still charged up. There he goes. No, he's still charged. Alright. You can hear that sound where he's like ripping off the magic he's got. He's basically got the same type of magic that the Venzakri ends up with. There we go, got him. Got our sword and a crystal. And now let's explore around in here. Here it is. Here's our journal. So now, just looting that, I think even just reading it, I don't know if you have to loot it or read it, but that'll unlock the recipe. So if we were to go to the forge here, believe it's under miscellaneous. We should find resonance crystal. Oh no, it's because we don't have. We have to get. What do you call it? Glassmithing. So you have to have not only read the book but also have glassmithing, which we are nowhere near. Let's go look at the smith tree here. So we need to get to 70 smithing, so long ways off for us. So we will be relying on the ones we can get from the dungeon secrets. Again, unless I decide to do the cheesy Iron Dagger enchant path to power level. Which I am not above. Here's the one we want, we take this elevator up. Alright, so we'll first grab our, so over here we've got the runes for Unrelenting Force as the reminder. Go ahead and grab the next word of Phantom Form. Nice, we'll take the Bardic Inspiration. Oh, a little treasure over here too. And then here's our loop back. It's actually one of my favorite things about most Bethesda dungeons is the little loop back to get back outside again. It's a nice touch.
Ah, there you are. I see you found the sword. Well done. But before you leave, a moment please. There's something I'd like to do here. No, I came here for my own reasons. Actually, I've come here before, but was unable to enter. Thankfully, you have opened the way. It may now be possible. Some years ago, I found a journal that belonged to Sledrig. He wrote of this place. He once called it home. It's where he found and refined his resonance crystals. And where he made other discoveries. Before you joined the college, before you said you would help kill Fulgafsanan, this was a task meant for me. I was to be trained, as you have been. Learn the skills that you've been taught. But I am unable to produce a tomb. I was not fit for purpose. However, I believe there is something here. Something that Sledrig once thought could help give to me the power of the voice. I would like your aid in finding this thing. I want to be able to shout. I want to be useful. Hey, it's not like I was snooping. It's not my fault if an old journal got mixed up with some history books. Maybe I should have stopped reading once I realized what it was. But what Sledrig had written down, he was talking about me. About how my training wasn't going how he had planned. About how he was disappointed. Don't worry. It's not
Seems
as if
fine.
I'm
All right,
angry
cool.
at you. You can't replace something that was never there. I'm glad you came along. From everything I know, Fulgafsanan is quite dangerous. I can understand why Sledrig wants the dragon dead. I just wish I could be of more use. That's kind of you to say. I'm not sure I believe it, but it was kind. Thank you! You know, I'm not entirely sure what it is to have a real friend. I'm not sure I've ever really had one. But I suspect that you come close. Again, thank you.
So this little quest is totally optional. You can tell her to piss off, and you just won't get resonance to start. I imagine most folks do this though. But I have seen people doing playthroughs where they just fast traveled back really quick and then missed this conversation. Or used like a teleport spell.
Here! This is it! It must be. just have to stand here and... Why is nothing happening? The journal made it seem so simple. I just have to stand on the platform. Why is it not doing anything? I'm so stupid. Why did I think this would work?
Yes, you are stupid. Now let's go. No, we'll go with don't give up so easily.
I don't know. When reading Sledrig's journal, he seemed to think if I were to stand here and he was to do something, then... I'm sorry. This was just a waste of your time. We should leave. Perhaps you're right. There may be something here to explain this platform thing. Sledrig always keeps records of his work. Search around. See if you can find some scrolls, old notes, anything. I'll look too.
Okay. Oh, here we go. I did blast it away. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. We don't have an objective marker on her. Got it. Oh, only when you get really close. Alright.
What is it you found there?
I wonder if that's inverted. A lot of times we will disable it when you get close so it doesn't show up when you're writing conversation.
Oh, okay. I think this is it. Some of it is cryptic. But right here, it mentions what the platform was used for. Fascinating. This was the final step in creating a resonance crystal. Sledrig would place a crystal on the platform and then... imprint it with his soul? Is that what he thought would help me? Imprinting me with the soul of another? Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but I'm willing to take the risk. With the resonance crystals, it seems this helped fortify them, granting them a stability, so they could hold a shout without shattering. I suppose I can see how this might help me. Perhaps allow my body to better hold a shout, maybe? Does that make sense? I think that could work. It won't hurt you, I know that much. In his journal, Sledrig mentioned he had done this many times with no ill effects. If you are willing, I would like to try. I think there is another platform somewhere in here. You'll need to find it, then stand on it for this to work.
It shocked me so much that I was always worried that this was going to be hard for people to find, and like even before we had put the objective marker, generally everybody who tested this figured it out right away. But I think we must have had enough people being like, oh, I'm not sure what to do here, that we decided to put the marker on it.
Hey, you found it! Good job!
Oops. I've got the exploding crystal. Alright.
Alright then. Now, how would Sledrig do this? Must be some kind of activation.
Now, technically, the activation here is any resonant shout, so we could use Earth Song, but because I don't need it to explode and hit her, I'm going to just use Unrelenting Force.
I can hear you. Or at least something that sounds like you. I'm okay. I just... That was very painful. But I'm okay now, I think. And I feel different. I can't explain it, I just feel different. Does that mean it worked?
Every time I see her when we're doing testing or I watch somebody play this and I see her stand up from that crawl animation and she takes like 3 steps back, I keep waiting for somebody to be playing it and her to just walk off the back of the platform.
That might be a bit premature. I still feel pretty woozy. But later, maybe. I think we're done here. Time will tell if this was worth the effort. Hey, thanks for everything. No one's ever gone out of their way like this for me before. I really appreciate it. Oh, and could you not mention this to Sledrig? When the time's right, I'll tell myself. But first, I want to try practicing some shouts. You should head back to the college. Don't forget the sword. Bye now.
Okay. Alright, I think we're going to turn in echoes. And then we're going to go on a shout hunt for a while and put a pause on the main story because I don't want to rush through the next part. But I would like to get the sword in working order because once you hand it to him, he hands it back to you with a little bit of an upgrade. Because I think that's going to be pretty clutch to our build. Oh, you know, we actually didn't even need to come back here. We could have used, just to advance the quest, we could have actually just used the shout.
Atia says my voice is second only to hers, but she's selling me short.
I am to be trained
Olgar!
as an emissary and be stationed within the Imperial City in Cyrodiil. I have a new life ahead of me, and it is all thanks to you.
We've now got the Witcher training to be a bard. Fantastic. And then this unlocks the ability to craft the cadence rods, because you can actually, so the cadence rod by default uses mana, but you can actually make a different version that will use either stamina or health. So you can kind of design what resource you want to sacrifice. So if you want to use, like, keep your mana for actual magic, so if you want to be a magic user as your main attack instead of like what I've been doing with the one-handed, you can do that. Again, we're trying to be very flexible with this, let people kind of design their own builds, and I assume when you combine some of the stuff we've added with mods that add other shout utilities and spells and stuff, there's probably a lot of interesting combinations. Alright, let's see what we can upgrade with this. How much bardic inspiration do we have? 3. I would really like Draconic Knowledge. Unlock for 7. I don't know if I have the patience to save up for that. I kind of want to, though. Unlock for 5. Oh, this is a pretty good one. Alright, I think I'm going to take this one. What's the next one cost? Does it show us? Unlock for 5, okay.
Ah, yes, I see you were successful. You have recovered Fenzakri. A fine blade. My blade. Or at least, it used to be. That it is. In the dragon tongue, it means Sword of the Wind. With the correct focus of one's mind, Fenzakri can slice through the air itself, reaching foes far away. Although, it seems the magic that once enchanted the blade has waned over the centuries. Yes, many years past, I called that place my home. It was a refuge, somewhere for contemplation and reflection on oneself. There I performed many investigations and tests on the capturing of one's Thum. My work there is what led to the very sanctuary you now stand in. And there were other discoveries as well. It seems you've been taking my lessons to heart. Looking beneath the surface of things. You are correct. Helvana is born of myself. She is my daughter. It was my hope I could train her in the ways of the Thum, despite her being of my blood. It was not meant to be. It is of no fault of her own. I know she has tried to live up to my expectations. Even with her shortcomings, I am still proud of her. Enough! That is not your concern. We will speak no more of this.
Okay, okay.
Let us return to more immediate matters. That it did. This sword I once used against many a dragon. You see, I was once Dova Creed, Dragon Slayer. So many did I do battle with, that I even learned to mimic their thum, turning it against them. Gafsunan is an old foe of mine. So many confrontations, so many times he slipped through my fingers, until I finally cornered him. I knew this time I had him, for I had mastered a most devastating shout. Or at least, I thought I had. An exact number I cannot give you. I am 7, maybe 8 centuries of age. It all blurs together. My mind seems unable to comprehend the passage of so many years. That I was one of the best. When I was still young, the land had long healed from the past and harsh rule of the dragons. Many a dragon did not take kindly to their new place in the world. They sought to re-establish their lost kingdoms, or simply terrorize those who had taken their place. That's why people like me became hunters. It was a long battle. Both Volgaf Sonan and I were broken and bloody. But I had the shout, one that would rip the very soul out of the beast. So I let loose my thum, and it worked. I saw the dragon's soul tear free from its body. Victory within my grasp. But then, Volgaf Sonan bellowed his own thum, the same thum as mine. And now it was my own soul to be torn away. Not knowing what to do, I shouted again and again, the dragon doing the same. Until darkness. I awoke alone. Volgaf Sonan was gone. It escaped me. Again. That was not the worst of it. I felt different. Wrong somehow. Part of me was missing. It was my soul. Volgaf Sonan had managed to tear part of it away. Yet something new had taken its place. In our struggle, I'd captured part of Volgaf Sonan's soul. To mend my damage. A dragon's soul. I felt empowered, unstoppable. With my newfound vitality, I'd hunt him down again, and this time, I would end him. It has been so long since then. So many centuries. With your help, I feel I am close.
You're the soul of the
Only
dragon.
part of a dragon's soul. Half to be exact. It has granted me certain insights, certain abilities. The most obvious being immortality. I am old. Far older than any man should ever be. I have seen and done so much. And I remember so little.
Yeah, how did you become a bard?
To be honest with you, I never held much interest in the arts. At least, before losing part of my soul. Perhaps it was the sheer amount of time I now had before me. Or my attempt to make sense of all that had happened. But I started to find myself intrigued by bardic matters. Music, verse, the qualities of one's voice. All this is what led me to where I am today. So much I have done. It's too much to recall. But I shall try. For a time I continued to hunt dragons, but as their numbers ebbed, so did my fervor wane. Some decades I wandered, others I took residence in some town or city, partaking in whatever distractions presented themselves. I take on the role of a court minstrel, a noble scholar, at times even a simple street performer. I even once played at being Grand Master of a whole college, teaching others to use the thum. All these are lifetimes ago now.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Ah, yes, I see you were
All right,
successful.
we'll speed through this.
You have recovered Fenzakri. A fine blade. My blade. Or at least, it used to be.
A step in to
You have my thanks.
pick back up, but
Truly, you do. The sword, Fenzakri. Give me a moment and I'll restore to it what power I can. There. I have reawoken the blade. It will now respond to a Thum, as it once did. Take it. It is yours.
nice.
As I am now, it is of little use to me. You now have everything you need to face Volgafsanan. The only thing that remains is to discover where he hides himself away. Oh, I am sure. If that vile fiend had died, I would have known. No. He's still out there, biding his time. Even before you became my apprentice, I had already been following some promising leads on the dragon's whereabouts. Some of the professors at the college have been assisting me, although they are unaware of the full details. You should speak to Professor Tiriana, or Mistress Valerine, or perhaps even Olvis. Each has been looking into matters regarding Volgafsanan. Any of them could point you in the right direction to gather the information we need. Olvis is eager to please, hoping to get on my good side. When he learned I asked the others for assistance, he leapt at the chance to offer his own help. I'm unsure if he will have found anything, but I suppose it is possible. I will not mince words. Valerine does not like me, and the feeling is mutual. Despite that, I will admit she has her uses. She has an extensive network of contacts, many fingers in many pies. There's a chance she may be able to find what information we need. Indeed, she has. Both she and Germaine have been instrumental in my efforts thus far. It was their connections that brought to me the Earthsong tablet. With her expertise in historical study and cataloging, I have asked Tiriana to research any possible clues as to Volgafsanan's whereabouts. Good. Each professor should have something useful. You can pursue each lead if you wish, or just one of them, providing it gives us what we need. If things go wrong, or lead turns to a dead end, have no worry. Just pursue a different lead instead. Or return to me. I may be able to offer an alternative path. In your absence, I shall ready what we will need to confront Volgafsanan. It is the least I can do. That is all for now. We both have much work ahead of us.
Okay. Alright, so now we've got a nice upgrade to our sword here. So this is, so one of the things we were doing when we were coming up with all the stuff that we were putting in here was like, alright, what does a bard class look like? And then it was a matter of, let's try and create a set of gear that would kind of be best in slot for a character who was like, I'm going to play with this playstyle. So we imagined something like Venzakri in one hand, Cadence Rod in the other, or, you know, when you weren't using shouting, you would use, you know, whatever spell or shield or sword you wanted to use. But the idea with this is, you shout, charges Venzakri, blasts off an energy beam, do the next shout in your chant, and basically alternate between them, and each time you get another blast of your sword in a ranged form. So whatever shout series you're using, you can run around the battlefield and take pot shots while your companions are kind of holding things down for you. Alright, let's go talk to everybody and we'll get their little side quests, so that way as we're bouncing around the world we have something to do. And I also I definitely want to talk to Tiriana again and pay her
to be trained as an emissary and be stationed within the Imperial City in
Oh yeah, you told me that a moment ago.
A new life ahead of me.
I want to talk to Tiriana to get some more shouts queued up, so that way as we're clearing dungeons and whatnot, we can fill up our shout repertoire.
Oh, about the dragon. Yes, I have found something. I knew the name Volgafsanan sounded familiar, but I couldn't quite place where I had heard it before. But while plucking my lute, absent-mindedly humming tunes, it hit me. I had heard that name in a song, a folk ditty from around the Pale. I can't quite recall the lyrics, but I'm fairly sure the song made mention of the dragon and seeing it come from somewhere. Well, if you were to head to Dawnstar, you might come across the woman I heard singing the song. She was a fisherwoman. I think her name was... well, I can't quite remember that either, but I do remember she reminded me of Helvana. It was the red hair and her smile. I mean, no. So, if you speak to her, maybe don't mention anything about that. Okay? I know it's not much to go on, but if that woman can tell you the lyrics to the song, it may offer the information Sledrig seeks. I'm sorry, that's all I can offer. Hope it helps.
Okay, and actually, before we forget, I need to find Gerard and get my training for this level. Hey,
Sure
Helvana.
you wrap up warm if you're going out. You don't want to lose it, though, to the frost.
Thank you, thank you.
Where did I leave that contact? As one of Skyrim's most prestigious emissaries, I am quite busy. What is it? First Helvana, and now he sends you. Does the old goat truly lack the courage to speak to me himself? Pathetic. Yes, I have what Sledrig wants, or rather, I know someone who does. But now a question for you. Why should I hand over this knowledge to one of Sledrig's lackeys? What possible good would it do for me,
Alright, we'll try our luck. We got our speech up a little bit.
I have my reasons, and they are my own. You're right. I hadn't thought of that. I could dangle this over him for weeks, perhaps even months. Poor Sledrig, owing me a favor? Yes. I know the man who'll have the information he needs. His name is Hemid, or as he is otherwise known, the Librarian. A spellcaster of some renown, currently on pilgrimage to the Mages' College in Winterhold, last I heard. Of course, if you wish to speak to Hemid, you'll need to gain entry to the college somehow. But that's a problem for you and your master. That's all I have to say. Be sure to let Sledrig know he's now indebted to me.
Okay, now we need to
I
find
should learn to play an
Tariana.
instrument.
Thanks to
Oh, there she is.
What do you need, my friend?
Sledrig. Ah, yes. He wanted records of an ancient dragon. I remember. Strange fellow, that one. Well-versed in the past, but I've never seen him study such things. Very curious, if you ask me. Very curious indeed. Now, what is it you wanted? Of course, yes.
The Chronicles of Griff the Conceited we just got
Fascinating
handed.
history with that one. Not at all what you'd expect from a dragon of that era.
Of course.
Here, you should read this.
Oops.
Griff the Conceited penned a memoir of sorts. It mentions Volgafsanan several times. I took notes. But wait. That's not what Sledrig asked for, is it? No. No. It was something else. Say again. Location. Volgafsanan? Oh, there's no way to know that. Dragons are very secretive of such things, you know. Unless, yes, that is his area of expertise. Very knowledgeable of such things. Maybe he would know. Tarot, yes! A historian he is, much like my partner Germaine. Only he's much less pleasant. Tarot, I mean, not Germaine.
Always.
I do believe Tarot is visiting the Temple of Dibella in Markarth. If anyone would know a dragon's last recorded location, it would be him. Now, do excuse me. I believe I was in the middle of searching for my quill.
All right, cool. We got quite a bit. All right, but I'm going to stop blowing my gold in case I just lose track of them all. All right, we got some serious dungeon crawling to do here. Oh, man, we got so much stuff to do now. Hey, Shakar. Nice, 4,500. There we go. All right, now let's bop over to Riverwood. And now the champion duels are a little bit longer than the regular ones. There he is.
If it isn't the latest up-and-comer, you've done well. But the realm of rhetoric is unforgiving. Dare you enter a duel with a defending champion? Care to wager? 25 septims seems a fair amount. Don't trip over your tongue.
Just gonna do it while you're making potions, huh? Very sure of yourself.
Can you blame me? Looking upon you could cause anyone distress.
Nice.
Quite the master stroke, if I do say so myself.
I don't remember who the Nords are weak to.
Time to show you how it's done.
I'm gonna try all the racials because even if he
Your
knows them,
features
I'll
are
take
enough to turn a
it.
Sweet roll sour.
Okay, that's an easy one. Laugh or cower.
Oh, I see how it is. Fine, you win that round. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn.
Okay, let's see if he knows Redguard.
While your insight is as shallow
He does.
as the claim
All right.
that you assert. Quite the master stroke, if I do say so myself. You're about to witness the master at work. You're as cunning as a thrice concussed troll.
Let's see. Do I know this one? I think I do, but I don't. Okay. Well, that's no good. Alright, let's grab a random one.
Looks like you're not quite cut out for this dueling business.
Okay.
I've had my fun.
Hopefully,
Now it's your turn.
I have an insult that, let's see. Let's try Imperial. There we go.
Just give me a moment.
There's every race has one culture there where they lose automatically to, and their own they will win automatically
Your
against.
attempts at verse are as elegant as a horker's belch.
Ooh, I don't know if I have this one. That sounds like a Nord insult though. Oh, a fitting retort comes to you. Fantastic. That is a good reason to have speech up. There we go. So it must be this. How droll do your witticisms land with a lackluster squelch?
Oh, I see how it is. Fine, you win that round. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn.
Alright, let's see if we have any more Imperial we can use. We do.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks like Nords are weak to Imperial. Okay, cool.
You smell like skeever. Clear the stage. My turn for the spotlight. My quips are as finely crafted as an elven blade.
Okay, I think this one we know it's a Spluttering Tirade. I believe I saw that earlier. Yeah, here we go. You call quips, everyone else calls a Spluttering Tirade.
Oh, I see how it is. Fine, you win that round. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn.
Alright, do one more Imperial to shut it down. I can also do the Nord one just to force myself to get the thing, but I'm worried. Oh, wait, I have two Nord ones here. I don't remember which ones I have the thing for, but yeah, I think I'm gonna take the risk. I want to make sure we have all of the retorts, and then I can finish him with the Imperial one I have left.
Preferable to the welcome you'd receive.
I think I already knew that one.
Which would surely underwhelm. My words are like arrows, hitting their mark every time. Clear the stage. My turn for the spotlight. Your attempts at wit are as feeble as a far man's first love letter.
Okay, this one we should have. This is the vocabulary getting better. Yep.
Looks like I underestimated you. I'm clear.
We got him. There we go.
You win the bout. Congratulations, and welcome to the ranks of novice. It only gets tougher from here, I'm afraid.
Okay. So now we should start seeing more apprentices around. And every new rank has a couple of new insults that weren't available prior. And so you'll want to like make sure you find a few of each rank before you get to the master of that rank. But to get to the master of the rank, or the champion rather, all you have to do is win, I believe it's 5 rounds, but they can be against anybody. So we could run around and beat up novices easily, or we can try and find some apprentices to get more things. But I will just take the victories so we can get to that 5 quicker.
25 septums seems a fair amount.
And of course, any of them have a chance to teach you a new cultural insult, which are pretty valuable. Okay, so now we want to head over to the Riften area. I don't know if I've been to Riften on this character yet. There we go. Alright, but I think this is going to be my last dungeon for the night, and then we will save it here, because, and I think this is going to be a short one, it's just a cave. I think we launched Miko to the moon. Don't see him anywhere. Oh, there he is. You're good, bud. You're good. There we go. Another Spectral Rift tablet. Oh, and I know what else we forgot. We're going to actually go outside and do this. We're going to do, because that was too easy. That was too fast. Nice. We are going to do Dragon's Dirge. Alright, we're going to do this. So now the next time we play music, we will tempt a dragon. Hey, we didn't even need to use Dragon's Dirge. We got a dragon coming for us. Where are you, buddy? I heard you. There he is. Come on down. Come on down. Oh no, are we dead? Are we just super dead? Wait, am I still alive? No, that's gotta be dead, right? Yeah. Did it work? And I think it did. He didn't shout at us. Hard to see the effect on a dragon. Oh, damn. Lydia, get in there and tank him. Oh god, oh god. So low, so low. Alright, where the hell? I don't know how I keep losing the dragons. Oh man, that fire breath. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Yeah, damn it. The double dragon, too much. It's too much. Alright, I think what I'm gonna do here, because I got to get to bed soon. I am going to wait till this dragon appears and then make a save so that I don't repeat this mistake next time. That is enough pain for the night. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll be back next Sunday to try again at this dragon fight, and I will go as many times as required till we get this damn thing's soul. We're gonna come up with some new strategies. Maybe I'll secretly buff my weapons behind under the hood because I can do that. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me. Catch you guys next week.